श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Chapter 9, Summary. A summary of Chapter 9 we will do today, a very brief summary, verse by verse, how to look at that. A very important chapter and deliberately coming right in the middle of the Bhagavad Gita and beautifully talking about the connection between Bhagavan and the Jagat. So, the title is Rajavidya Rajaguhyam, that which is very much appropriate because it is indeed a knowledge that shines by itself. It is indeed a knowledge that does not require any advertisement. Somehow, like a bloodhound, one comes to this knowledge. Somehow, somebody is visiting Rishikesh and somehow they had no idea that there was a 3-month course or any kind of course or 1-week course or nothing. They just happened to land here. In fact, they thought they'll come for, what do they do there with those big kayaks? Rafting. Rafting. And instead they found a raft taking them out of samsara in the Dayananda ashram all of a sudden. They did not even know how to pronounce Dayananda, and then they just brought themselves here for river rafting and what is that spider activity? Bungee jumping, all these things. Yeah. Next life, definitely you're getting ready to be a spider. No doubt. Yes. Or, if you don't want to be a spider next life, what is the explanation? You were a spider in the last life and the samskaras prevail. Upar niche, going up and down. So then you came for all those things, but suddenly found this knowledge, and that's why it's called Rajavidya. It cannot be hidden. It does not need any advertisement. For who? For those who are looking for it. And even it's not in your hands whether you are looking for it or not. It is, you are hardwired for moksha. It is an uncultivated desire. There are these animals in the police force, canine force it is called. And in the canine police force, these police dogs are not ordinary. They are trained very beautifully. So the police officer shoots somebody who has done something wrong. He is making off with some things and not his property, and then they shoot deliberately somewhere in the leg. They don't want to kill. They want to just scare him, and then they sometimes shoot in the air or shoot in the leg so that he is slowed down. He is running away from the police so that he doesn't go to the getaway car. But still this man manages to go into the getaway car, drag himself, and then leave the place. The police are flummoxed. What do? They see a few drops of his blood. They put a rag there and make it sniff the canine force, the dog. It's called bloodhound. And then you need to have strong shoulders and arms, because as soon as it smells it, its job is to take off and find the fellow. It will find the fellow even if that fellow is hiding somewhere in Indraloka. It will go and find him and come back. This is the bloodhound. So too the desire for moksha is like that. You have sniffed at it. You have sniffed at it in a past life. You have understood the desire for it, and even though the other desires crowd the head, the desire for moksha gives you this birth and takes you to this life. Therefore, this is Raja Vidya. But again, even though it's in plain sight, the Atma is where? Your Atma is not hidden. Is Bhagavan hidden? No. Atma is Bhagavan. It is right here in plain sight. Still I keep saying, Darshan kab doge? I keep singing bhajans. When will I see Atma? What should I do? Should I go like Lord Hanumanji? And if you see this Janki Jhula, what is he doing? Yeah, bearing the chest open so that a little baby Rama and baby Sita are there in the heart. So, what do I have to do? All this is very beautifully unfolded in this chapter. So, the first 3 verses are, as we said, verses 1 to 3, glory of this knowledge. And then the vision is given in verses 4 to 6. The whole vision of Vedanta, how the effect is non-separate from cause, but the cause is not effect. Understanding level number 1, understanding level number 2, there is no such thing called cause or effect. Both of those are mithya, and causality is as though superimposed upon the vastu, and the status of being effect is also superimposed upon the vastu, which is free from being cause or effect. Understood? Say yes even if you want to say no, because this is a summary, okay? Yeah. So that is till 6, along with an example of the Vayu in space was given. And then verses 7 to about, verses 7 to 10 talk about the factor called Maya. A little more elucidation of Maya. Why? Because the question of this creation will definitely arise. Why will the question of creation arise? The question of creation will arise as follows. If Brahman is not doing anything, what is Brahman? Sat Chit Ananda, totally useless. And Brahman knowledge is also useless for Vyavahara. If you write on your, what is that called? Curriculum vitae, resume. If you write, I have self-knowledge, nobody will hire you. Nobody will hire you. I know Brahman. Big deal, keep the knowledge to yourself. Do you know, what is that? Do you know Java? They will ask that. Yeah. Do you know Oracle and Java? We are not interested in Brahman knowledge. Do you know coding? Do you know this? Do you know that? They will not be interested in that. Why? Brahman is useless for Vyavahara. Brahman knowledge is also useless for Vyavahara, transactions in the empirical world. No one is interested. Don't think that you will get your bread and butter by saying, I am Brahmajnani. You will be lucky if you get bhiksha. Okay? So, with great difficulty you may get bhiksha, because all of God's creatures, including this body, mind, sense complex, is taken care of. So, you may get by. But don't think that you will become rich and famous. Not possible. So then, to account for this Jagat, I need an interim explanation here, and that interim explanation is the Kalpita Shakti called Maya Shakti, which is what? Which we say goddess power. Why? Because God is somehow coded as He, because the word Ishvara and Bhagavan both are what? Masculine. Only for that reason. It's not He overpowers she, no such thing. There is no he without she, and there is no she without he. The two are inextricable. Bhagavan, Bhagavati are inextricable, and empowered by this Mithya Bhuta Shakti, which is non-separate from Brahman, the Jagat is created, not created. We are forced to use certain words. Manifest. the manifestation and demanifestation of the Jagat makes it into a cyclical affair, so that the Jagat appears and as though disappears. Disappears means what? Is resolved, taken back to that same Brahman from which it was made to as though appear. So this as though appearance and the disappearance of the Jagat is also discussed here. And then that was also discussed a little bit in the 8th chapter. So that is until verse number 10. So what is this Prakriti, and how this Prakriti makes sure that the effect is non-separate from the cause. And we see this in the, I love doing this, yeah. So, because it feels like there is something very important in it. We see this in this also. We see this in this pot. We see that the effect is plain to see. It is plain for the eyes to see that the pot is what? Effect. When I see the pot, am I seeing the clay or not? I am seeing the clay simultaneously as the pot. I see the cause as clay, I see the pot as effect. It is very plain to see. And so like this also, same thing in the Jagat. The Jagat is an as though effect of the same Satchidananda equipped with Maya Shakti, and then which comes and goes for different cycles of creation. And those cycles were already discussed in chapter 8, which talked about one day of Brahmaji and all these things. Brahmaji and Brahman are two different things. Don't say how come Brahman is subject to time. In Vyavahara, everything is subject to time. Even Lord Brahma, which is the manifestation of Brahman, a function and form of Bhagavan as creator. As creator, subject to time. Because as long as creation exists, the title and the crown of creatorhood exists. Creatorhood is mithya. Bhagavan is not mithya. Bhagavan as creator, mithya, Shakti, mithya. And then Jiva as separate from Bhagavan, also what? Mithya. Jivahood mithya, Ishvarahood mithya. All this was somehow described in these few short verses. And then after that, from verse 11 onwards to 15, I think. Yeah, 11 to 15, the two kinds of people are discussed. People who know this and people who not only do not know this. It's not a mistake to not know. Many things we don't know. But people who not only know this but also do not want to find out. That is the problem. People who know this, but then people who don't even want to find out. Do not want to find out. And so therefore, that means what? Their whole life, this human life, is a waste. Everything starts with mogha. Mogha means useless. Mogha, sha mogha karmanaha, mogha jnanaha, mogha chetasaha, vichetasaha. And then what happens? They are actually asuras in a human dress. They look like human beings. But then any time they can turn into the asuras, rakshasas in the comics with these big canines and big handlebar mustaches and fiery red colored looking eyes, like in the comics how they describe the demons and difficult forces. So they are in a human garb, all right, but then what are they? What is their whole life? Their whole life is, give me that, but that's not yours. Now it is. You also, give me that, but this is mine, not anymore. This is how they go through life, riding roughshod over dharma, over other people's privileges, rights, and there is no compassion. So this is they have taken recourse to this kind of a thing, whereas the other kind of people that are described are interested in different ways to adore me, says Bhagavan, to get to know me. Only when you get to know, you adore, or you pray for this knowledge to come. To pray to who else? Bhagavan, to reveal the knowledge of the self as non-different from herself, himself. So there are certain other people who are constantly at it, who are waiting to get this. And then the two forms of power, talking about the two forms of power. What were the two forms of power? Presiding power and then pervading power. As Ishvara, as the ruler of the universe, there is a presiding power in the form of being manifest in the form of laws. And then taking care of the laws, making sure everybody gets their dues, making sure that the Jagat runs smoothly. So the presiding power is very much a function of Bhagavan, but then the essential nature of Bhagavan is what? Pervading power. That which pervades each and every, atom in the creation. That which is nothing but Satchidananda, that is the essential nature of Bhagavan, from which the Jagat is not separate. Jagat being an effect is non-separate from the cause. So this was talked about from verses 16 to 19, and then verses 20 and 21 talk about the the holdouts. We can call them holdouts. Even after knowing all this, what are they interested in? Swarga. They want to go, they are only interested in afterlife. So my question is this: where were you before this life? Some afterlife, which was afterlife from the next life, correct? Where will you be after this life? Afterlife. So the afterlife becomes more important than this life. Then what for is this body? What for is this mind? What for is this upadhi? Why should I care? Is this life a bus stop in between two afterlives? A lot of traditions, religious traditions, appear to think so. All that matters is afterlife. And then you do everything to go to heaven, because heaven is seen as the ultimate. Okay? And so then these afterlife goers will study the Veda. Which part of the Veda will they study? First portion of the Veda they will study, which has, which says which plane do you have to catch to go to heaven. You have to catch the correct plane. Yeah. If you just sit in SpaceX, it will just take you up to space and back. But what do you have to catch? How do you have to go? And where will this plane come for you? What do you have to do to buy a ticket on this afterlife plane? You have to do half the time you have to be doing yajna, the other half the time you have to be doing meditation. This is this is what you get. Okay? So then what happens? So then these are the people who are the holdouts. And then again there is a contrast. Verse 22, very important, describing both a sadhaka and a jnani. And then what happens? Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate. So those who are interested in oneness belong to a different category. They are not interested in afterlife. They are interested in what? This life. They are interested in understanding where to go now. They are interested in understanding how to live. They are interested in understanding what do I do to get rid of all the raga dveshas, to be able to manage my anger, my fear, my desires, how to manage, how to shed a few raga dveshas with the help of the study of Upanishad. Okay? That which makes you shed is called Upanishad. So then how to shed these raga dveshas, how to grow out of them rather, just like I have grown out of many things which I loved in the past. You don't carry around a stuffed toy, correct? With the left hand. And where is the right thumb? In the mouth. And this is how you come to Vedanta class. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. The very thought is disturbing, to say the least. Although in America, even grown-ups have stuffed toys, yeah. So this is, and I had to learn to keep my mouth quiet, because one time somebody invited me to their house and they said, let me take you around. And so I didn't think they had children, but so I was surprised when they showed me their living room, they showed me their dining room, then they showed me the bedroom, and then on the bed was 3-4 teddy bears. So I asked, do you have children? They said, no, these belong to us only. I said, okay, maybe it's a device. It's perhaps a psychological device for gaining security or whatever it is. So, but anyhow, so here all the props, all the desires have to be relentlessly questioned. And many of them will be needing to be shed. And so those kinds of people alone, that is the one I am most interested in helping, because they want to know themselves as non-separate from me, Lord Krishna says. And then the next topic is the two kinds of bhakti is talked about. First is Ananya Bhakti, and then Ananya Bhakti we just saw, wanting to understand Bhagavan as the truth of myself, and then wanting to understand the truth of Bhagavan. This is called Ananya Bhakti, seeing myself in the scheme of the worship. And the other one is our regular Saguna Brahma Upasana, the Upasana of various Devatas. Even that is not wasted. Lord Bhagavan's Krishna says that is also not wasted, because they'll take you to certain areas of mental and emotional maturity. Like even the teddy bear takes you to an emotional maturity where you can give away the teddy bear to your child or to any other child that you see. You can learn to live without it. And so like this, the Anya Bhakti also leads you to the same place as Ananya Bhakti. This is what is talked about. And then so to get to the place of Ananya Bhakti, treat your whole life as an offering, says verse 27 and 28. Treat your whole life as an offering, and then as a way to be released from this bondage, of the notion of bondage called samsara. And then finally the last topic in the which chapter is this? 9th chapter. In the 9th chapter is what? Is understanding how the question of atonement and redemption takes place for a person interested in knowledge. That is first topic, first part of the topic. And the second part of the topic is talking about what to do if one is challenged because of wrongdoing. Two kinds of challenges are talked about. Challenged because of various kinds of wrongdoing in one's own life. Why? Because for no fault of one's own, one is born in a family of wrongdoers, and then so one inherits certain wrong values. And it doesn't have to be as drastic as thievery or something like that. That is of course there. But then on the other end of the continuum are small things. A family that always engages in gossip. In fact, the only way they get along is by talking about other people. They can't talk about themselves. They can't talk about food. They can't talk about movies, regular things that most people do who don't know Vedanta. They can't talk about even simple things. Enjoyments in life, they cannot talk about. They can only connect to one another. How? By talking about others all the time. And certain other families, one picks up the habit of criticizing everybody. First family gossips, the second kind of family keeps on criticizing everybody. And then the third kind of family is what? They can only relate to one another if they are fighting with one another. Yeah. If they've had a good fight, they feel loved. And this is how. Very strange. But that's what is it. That is how is the pattern. These legacies have to be questioned. And so this is so these are all the kinds of wrong understandings and wrongdoing that I may have inherited, and then so for no fault of my own, but then I see the error of my ways, and then I'm ready to drop them, and I have done prayashchitta, atoning for these behaviors by going against those tendencies. And then Bhagavan says, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Quickly the person who has understood the error of her or his ways becomes starts adhering to dharma very quickly. Shashvachantim nigacchati. Shashvachantim nigacchati. Nigacchati means goes towards a relative cheerfulness. And then my devotee is never destroyed. Any which way you look at it, Bhagavan gives the assurance. And so that is for the first set of people. And the second set of people are chronically who have been kept away from the Veda, from the study of the Veda, or immersing in the Veda. Why? Because of exploitative and patriarchal practices within the tradition. Now, don't just say, oh, Hinduism is patriarchal. Look in other places. Every religion is patriarchal. What do you see anywhere you go in the position of leadership? Men, more men. That's all it is, yeah. So everywhere you go, it's the same. And so this patriarchy has been a very, very difficult, interloper. And not only that, all the dharma shastras and literally man-made rules come in the way for women and the service classes to imbibe this kind of a knowledge. They are kept away primarily because, why? Because to keep the division of labor intact. And who does the division of labor suit? Not the people who are suffering from it, definitely. And so therefore, even if somebody belongs to that, this knowledge is open to them. They are entitled to moksha. They are definitely entitled to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. And because see, the beauty is this, you can keep Veda away from the person. But you can take out, you can take out the person from the Veda. But you cannot take out Veda from the person. This is how it is. Really, this is how it is. Okay, you tell somebody you cannot come near the Veda. We should see this, what is her name? I forgot, a very good poet, Maharashtrian poet, during the Bhakti movement, she wrote, she writes very beautifully. The Vedas declare and the Puranas cry out, no moksha can come to me because I am a woman, she writes. And I'll find out the name and tell you tomorrow. And then she says, but then she says, somehow because of your grace, O Lord, I don't feel bound at all. I feel free. And she lists how she feels free and how she is not bound. Very beautiful set of poetry. I think her name was Bahina Bhai, if I am not mistaken. Bahina Bhai. Bahina Bhai, yes. So the Bahina Bhai, so she very beautiful devotional poems. Like this, we have many women writing in Maharashtra during the period of the Hindu Renaissance and during the period of the Bhakti movement. And then they say that their worshipfulness, nobody can come in the way. And then even if you go back as far as the 7th, 8th century, we have Akka Mahadevi. We have a woman saint like Akka Mahadevi in Karnataka and other places, Andal, Akka Mahadevi, all these women, they show us that the whole culture is imbued with Vedanta. If you say, here are the Vedas, they are all belonging to me, you cannot study them. And what will the women say? No problem. What will the service class say? No problem. Why? Because the folk songs are full of Vedanta. And then the stories are full of Vedanta. The songs which the women sing while, what is that activity called? Churning the buttermilk, while pounding the spices, full of Vedanta. What to talk of even our sweet dishes, full of Vedanta. All the stuffing is called Purna. Not you, but yeah. So it's called Purna. Why is it called Purna? Because that is what it's the stuffing that is matters. It's the stuffing that is matters. That is Brahman. And what is the casing of some flower? Tasteless. Nissara. Kadali stambhavat. We saw this. Like a banana tree stem. And the banana tree stem, I don't know why they do this. This should be outlawed. But they cut it into small pieces and make one sabji out of it. OMG. Yeah. It is the most boring sabji in the entire, all the three lokas. Okay, not just here. Yeah. But it's medicinal. It will heal your kidneys. It's very good for the kidneys. So then if anybody is not having kidney problems, nobody who doesn't have kidney problems goes even 10 foot near the sabji. Yeah, they keep a 10-foot distance minimum. Okay, so this is that Nissara, tasteless, boring, and plus has some kind of fibers that come out when you cut it, and the whole Jagat is very much like that. And then those kinds of songs, women and service class people sing during cooking, cleaning, sweeping, mopping. How can you keep Vedanta away? We already said in the beginning of the chapter, it requires no introduction and it cannot really be hidden. It is hidden only for want of pramana and want of preparations. But the two P's are there. What are they? Preparation and pramana vyapara. Then nobody can keep this knowledge from you, no matter who you are. And on this wonderful note, the 9th chapter ends with a message saying, therefore seek me in all actions and be the one who is always committed to me. Is there a question after this? Look and tell me. Is Arjuna asking a question? No. That means the Lord has still something more to tell about whatever the topic in the 9th chapter was there. It needs to either be continued or a subset of it to be given. So then the question is, what is that? Let us go back to the purport of the chapters 7 to 12. This is what we said is the nature of Bhagavan is going to be revealed in these chapters. Yes or no? Yes. Even if you want to say no, what should you say? Yes. Very good. Yes. Going on. And so then we have the nature of the Lord is being revealed, and in the 9th, from the 7th chapter onwards we are having this. We see a different tone than in the first 6 chapters, and the 7th chapter talks about the para-prakriti and apara-prakriti, that is its claim to fame. And then what is this nature? The nature of Bhagavan and the raw material and the maker. The maker and the raw material are discussed there in the 7th chapter. In the 8th chapter, what is the connection between the end of the jiva and Bhagavan? The end of the jiva, what is that? What does that signify? How does one quote unquote go to Bhagavan? All that is the subject matter. Death and end and afterlife are the subject matter of chapter 8. Chapter 9 we have seen in detail and also in the summary. And then so what is the need for chapter 10? Now, still, even though we know Bhagavan as Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, there is still a vagueness around Bhagavan. Who is this Bhagavan? Question number 1. And also it competes with whatever one has been told in childhood. Is Bhagavan Shiva? Because why? That's what was worshipped back home. No, others will say. Don't even say the word Shiva. If you say Shiva, you have to take a bath. Okay, so therefore what? You say who? Vishnu, that's who. Vishnu is the real Bhagavan. And then people, really, these people have a lot of spare time, okay? I don't know where they get the time, but then they say that Vishnu came before Shiva. Shiva is but a creation of Vishnu. And then they will manufacture a story right there and then to illustrate this fact. And then they will also say, look at your Shiva. In fact, he keeps getting into trouble. He keeps giving boons to all the asuras. And then look at what happened when Bhasmasura came. And who had to save him? Vishnu. Vishnu, that's who. That shows the superiority of Vishnu. And then the worshippers of Shiva will say, yeah, your Vishnu, what does he do? Lies down all the time. Yeah, keeps on lying down. उठता भी नहीं है, जो उठता भी नहीं है वो क्या काम करेगा? What work will he do? He is not even getting up. He is just lying down. What kind of a God you can be? Can you be inspired by a lying down God? The God means they should be, what should I say, full of energy, doing things, going here, going there, doing stuff. So this is all kind. And then some people will say, keep your Vishnu to yourself. Keep your Shiva to yourself. What are you? I am Shakta. Shakta means only the goddess. No other thing is there. Yeah. Lalita Sahasranama. And even more. Lalita Trishati. And then what is that? Shri Vidya Upasana. And then all these things. This is all what we believe in. And then they will also show some things. They will also take some verses, mantras from the Lalita Sahasranama. Pancha Preta Manchadishayini. So she's, what is that? She's also sleeping. She's also lying down. On what? Pretas. So all the 5 elements are pretas. She's lying down on. And some other people will show some what is that? Artwork where Kali is standing on Lord Shiva who is lying down. So like this, there are all the people, and then some people will say, forget all your funny gods. It's Jesus. It's Jesus alone who saves. Okay, what does Jesus look like? Formless. And first some people will say Son of God. Some people will say God himself. So like this, there are many different versions of what this God is, sneakily sitting, illegally sitting in the heart. Even though one has been exposed to Vedanta, one does not know Bhagavan. Many questions are yet to be answered. Question number 1, who is this Bhagavan? What is his name, her name? Who is this Bhagavan? Once and for all tell. Second is Bhagavan, where is the location of Bhagavan? Kidhar hai? If there is Bhagavan, I should be able to see. So if you say, oh, there, they are distributing laddus. Oh, great, I can go there and get some laddu. But then if you say they are distributing laddus in the clouds, that doesn't mean anything to me. I want something tangible to focus on, and you are telling me that you are making fun of all the tangible beliefs that I have. Shiva, Vishnu, Goddess, this, that, you are saying that this is just, what is that? These are all notions of Bhagavan. And so that is not the Bhagavan, that is not the ultimate exposition of Bhagavan given in the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. So therefore, I have to correct these notions. First of all, what does Bhagavan look like? And okay, forget Shiva, Vishnu, Goddess. What form does Bhagavan have? You can say, and most often it is human form. Even though the God in the Bible doesn't have a form, therefore there is Jesus, because we have to relate to something. It will have human form. So therefore, what do I say? He looks just like me. She looks just like me. But then that's where the similarity ends. I sit down and cry whenever things do not go my way. Bhagavati does not cry. She seems to be much more charged. She seems to have so many resources. How do I understand this? Let's give her more hands. Durga, 20 hands, each one carrying a weapon. Ganesha, 4 hands. All other deities, sometimes 4 hands, sometimes 6 hands, all these things. 6 faces for Bhagavan Skandha, or what else is called Subramanya. And then this is the understanding, this is the beliefs, these are the beliefs. Because I want to imagine a God who looks like me, and then if he or she looks like me, it is very possible that he or she will also act like me. Like you means what? I also get sad. And then you go to the puja room and say, today Bhagavan is looking sad. Why? Because I forgot to offer Naivedyam. Bhagavan is looking sad. Next day you will go in there and say, Bhagavan is looking upset. Bhagavan is looking angry. Bhagavan is looking very, very angry. And so therefore, this is exactly how we have a very finite understanding of the infinite, because we exclude ourselves from it. That is what is the purport of the 10th and the 11th chapters really. We exclude ourselves from this understanding of Bhagavan, so it is always Dvaitamata, a dual understanding, not a non-dual understanding. And then so that's the second problem. First problem, who is Bhagavan? Bhagavan. Second question, what does he or she look like? Third question, where is Bhagavan? And then we have our own locations. Heaven, Vaikuntha, Kailasha, all these things. And then these are all wrong notions, because if Bhagavan, if what is meant by Bhagavan is limitlessness, and if this limitlessness requires a place to reside, then then it will become what? Limited. Because the place delimits the Vastu. And so therefore, all these wrong ideas must go. So therefore, here this particular chapter is called Bhagavad Vibhuti Yoga. Vibhuti means glories. So our glories, our understanding of glories, like got from texts such as the Devi Mahatmya or the Puranas or Bhagavatam, etc., have to do with the prowess of the Lord, the prowess of the goddess. How did the goddess dispense with Mahishasura, buffalo demon, and then what else? Madhu and Kaitabha, other difficult demons. How did she dispose of all of them? How did she dispose of Chamunda? All these things. This is our claim, goddess's claim to fame, the Lord's claim to fame. Some people memorize. How many asuras did Rama dispense with? How many asuras did Krishna dispense with? All these things. And then the more asuras that are gone, the more powerful that is. So we know the Vibhuti from the Puranas, from the form and function. But we don't know the Vibhuti from the standpoint of this oneness, not from the standpoint of duality. So the location, where is this Bhagavan located? And finally the fourth question, which the 10th chapter strives to answer, is what is my relationship to this Bhagavan? How can I get connected to the Vibhuti? Like Swamiji mentioned in the morning class, what did he say? If you go to see somebody who can do miracles, like, here, gold coins, shower of gold coins, wonderful. And then you scramble, you did not even get one gold coin. Why? Prarabdha. That's why. Other people were there, too many people were there. Then you go home and get depressed, because being with a person who showers gold coins does not translate you into you showering the gold coins. So there is always this sense of incompleteness. And so here, reading the glories of Bhagavan, I should then, at the end of the 10th chapter, feel what? Slightly depressed. No, that is not what this is all about. It's a very, very beautiful chapter. Let us see how it opens and how it tackles these 4 questions, which are going to be in the theme of, among the themes of this whole purport of this chapter. Om Atha Dashamodhyayah. श्रीभगवानुवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमं वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया न मे विदुः सुरगणाः प्रभवन्न महर्षयः अहमादिर्हि देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः यो माम् अजमनादिञ्च वेत्ति लोकमहेश्वरम् असम्मूढः समर्थ्येषु सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते बुद्धिर्ज्ञानमसम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं चाभयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिः तपोदानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः. Yeah. So this is a very the first three verses give a beautiful introduction, and then it starts to see where is this Bhagavan and what is this Bhagavan in the form of. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Lord Krishna started to fly a kite. Okay, yes, that's the translation? No, okay, wake up, okay, yeah. Just checking, yeah. So Bhuya, Bhuya means, Bhuyaha means again, again and again, repeatedly, O mighty armed one, I am going to tell you. Again and again, I am going to tell you. Please, you can say again and again, I am going to tell you, because we have 8 more chapters to go. Or again and again, I am going to tell you. What is that? The me paramam vachaha. Again and again, listen. So the other bhuyaha can go to shrinu. Bhuyaha shrinu. Listen again and again, or listen to the glories again and again, or again and again I am going to tell you the glories. Both ways we can take it. And then, so who are you? The one with huge arms, mighty armed one. And why am I going to tell you this? Hitakamyaya. Hitakamyaya. Hitakamyaya means for your own benefit, for the desire that I have that you should be benefit from my words. What kind of words? Words means vachaha, the last word of the first line. Vachaha. What kind of vachaha? Paramam vachaha. Limitless words. Through my limitless words, you please understand what this is all about. And what are the limitless words revealing? My limitless nature, which is what? Including you. My limitless nature cannot put you on the side. Otherwise, I would be limited and you would also be limited. That is the problem with Dvaita Bhavana. The object of worship is also limited. Why? Because if it doesn't include you, that is what is going to happen. The object of worship is limited, and then what else is limited? the subject, the worshipper is also limited by not being one with the object of worship. So you can never say limitlessness is there. And then yatteham means by which, by which words I will tell you, vakshyami hitakamyaya. And who are you? The one who is pleased, priyamanaha, priyamanaya, the one who is pleased by what? My words. So the whole transmission of this teaching is based on the teacher-student relationship. That's why no class will be the same. No, if the same thing is taught, the content will of course be the same, but the way it is unfolded in each situation will be different depending upon the chemistry of the classroom and the attention of the students. So if the students are looking interested and eager, then the teacher will feel like going to the depth of the topic and then talking in a more, meaningful way, because it is being assimilated. But if the students have a face which shows that they have just had some castor oil, like a castor oil face, they have just drunk some castor oil, what kind of face will be there? Or the students have a faraway face, somewhere the body is here and the attention is where? Somewhere else, who knows where? Let's not even try to guess where it is. And then what happens is that of course, everything that is to be given will be given. But then it will lack what is called pizzazz. Pizzazz doesn't mean pizza, okay? It's a different thing. So it will lack that, it will lack that aliveness which is there otherwise. So here the word priyamanaya means the one who is so pleased with my words that he wants to listen more and more. This is Arjuna. So his attention did not lag. After 9 chapters, he did not become like that. Oh, when is Wednesday coming? Today only Sunday. The eyes did not fly up to whatever that is called, some mudra, Khechari mudra or something it is called, where the eyes get stuck to the top of the head. And then, when is Wednesday coming? When will I have a break? 9 chapters, no tea break even. And then what's going to happen? So that kind of a face Arjuna is not making. He's very much into this knowledge and he's at the edge of his seat listening. He's listening so much that Lord Krishna is pleased with his attention and then wants to give even the smallest nuances and wants to give this knowledge completely in a manner that can be easily assimilated. And thanks to Arjuna's attention, who is benefiting? We are benefiting. We are benefiting because we are getting the best of Bhagavan in this chapter. So then the next verse says, actually even people who know me, who think they know me, do not know me at all. Name viduhu suraganaha. They don't know the name prabhavam viduhu suraganaha nacha maharshayaha. So neither the whole suraganaha means, ganaha means group, a host of gods. What are the gods? Gods means deities. Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Mrityu, all these are what? They are all functionaries. They are Bhagavan with a name and form directed by the laws, and then they do all these jobs. We'll see this in we will see how even Indra, Varuna and Indra, Agni and Vayu did not know Bhagavan. We will see when we pick up the Kathopanishad again. What are we studying? Kenopanishad again. When we re-enter the Kenopanishad, we will see the truth of these words. I don't want to go into it now. So, name viduhu ke suraganaha. Suraganaha me na viduhu. the so-called gods who are the denizens of celestial spheres, that's better, instead of calling them God, the citizens of heaven, etc. Like Indra, Agni, Vayu, all these celestial functionaries, including Lord Yama. Name viduhu, they don't know me. They don't really know me. But how did they go to heaven? Due to upasana and karma. They have some long-standing stay in heaven. Due to upasana and karma, they have made it to heaven and they are staying there, and then, but they don't really know me. Oh, can they get the knowledge in heaven? Only in Brahma Loka you can get this knowledge. In other heavenly lokas you can't get this knowledge. Even Bhagavan, even these gods, Sharira, Devata Shariras are what? Bhoga Shariras. They are just there for enjoyment of heaven, etc. All the things you can enjoy because there are no core issues. There is no anger in heaven. There is no sorrow in heaven. You can really enjoy. So, this is even the Devatas are ignorant of my nature. What about Maharshis, sages, and all the sages who do so much tapas and who have miraculous powers? All these are also ignorant of my prabhava, my glories, my powers. They are prabhava, power is good, and my origin. My origin means the originless origins. They don't know that I am their cause. They don't know that. They don't know my origins, and they don't know that they are all because of me they are there. They don't even know that. And then why? Because aham adihi devanam cha sarvashah maharshinam cha devanam cha adihi. Because in all ways, sarvashah, in all ways, I am what? I am the beginning of them. Means what? I am their cause. They exist because I give my presence, I lend my presence. Indra is shining in my borrowed feathers. Varuna is shining because I am, Varuna is none other than me, but Varuna doesn't know that. In the same way, all the Devatas worshipped are shining because they are all Satchidananda, but they don't know my nature, which is also their nature. Not only that, they don't know my glories either. And then introducing this chapter, the third verse says, shows the phala of the knowledge of understanding Bhagavan. Yaha, the one who, Mam, me, the one who vetti, Yaha Mam vetti, the one who knows me. How? Ajam and Anadim. Ajam, see, Aja and Anadi are one and the same. Aja means what? Not born. Yeah. Aja also means goat, but here Bhagavan is not saying I am a goat. Okay? Yeah. So context matters. So Yaha Mam Lokamaheshwaram Ajam cha Anadim cha Vetti. Vetti knows. The one who knows me as Aja. Aja means unborn. Anadim means the one who doesn't have a beginning. When the two words are used together, we have to make sure that they have different meanings, that what is intended. Adi Shankara gives the meaning and says these are not redundant words. So unborn means I am not like the pot, which is an effect of clay. I am not like the pot. Unborn. Aja means I am not an effect. And beginningless means I am not the cause either. If I had a beginning, I would be the cause of something or the other. In other words, I am neither cause, my essential nature is neither of the status of being a cause nor effect. Neither cause nor effect I am. This the sages and the Devatas do not know this. But the one who knows this, that who am I? Lokamaheshwaram. Lokamaheshwaram means the Lord among the people, the Lord of the Vishwa, the whole universe, the Lord of everyone, the one who who knows me as that. Asammudhasa martyeshu. That is the only one who is not deluded. The delusion that I am separate from Bhagavan is gone. Why? Because if I know the Lord as neither a cause nor effect, that is the vision of Vedanta. That means what? I am of the same nature, I am also neither cause nor effect, beginningless and birthless, birthless and beginningless I am. I am neither cause nor effect. If I know, then I have the vision of Vedanta. And then what? Sarva papaihi pramuchyate, is free of all papas. And then in the Mundaka Upanishad, we'll come across a phala, one of the phalas of Atmajnanam. Bhidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante cha asya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. So once you know this, once you know para, which is Brahman as avara, the lowly one, oneself, or you know Brahman as cause and then avara as effect, para cause, avara effect. You know Brahman at both the cause and effect, and you know that it, in order to be both, it's neither cause nor effect. When you know, three things happen. The heart knot of ignorance is torn asunder. And then, vidyate hridaya grantihi, the lump in the throat that is always there due to guilt, hurt, regret, fear, all these things. The lump in the throat that is there, and then vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha, all the doubts just go away. All the doubts are cut into shreds. You know, nowadays they have this paper shredder because the hackers have become very active. You can't just throw your bank balance statement into the trash. What will happen? Yeah, bank balance will also go into the trash. So therefore, what do you have to do? You have to buy one expensive machine, okay, and hope the power does not get cut. And then in India, I'm saying, yeah, and then you feed it, and then it comes out like confetti. There are also different kinds of, I don't know what's wrong with us. You know, we put so much effort and energy into these gadgets. I mean, I like gadgets. Don't get me wrong, but some of them we go to the extreme. There is the strip type cutter. It comes into little strips. It looks like spaghetti from far, okay, and then it looks like pasta from far. And then you can get the confetti shredder, which even for the paranoid ones, you don't buy that type. You buy the one that makes it into tiny pieces, where the strips, somebody can glue them together, put sellotape, and then find out all your information and cause things like unfavorable things like identity theft and all. But the confetti type shredder, nothing can beat that. So just like we have what is that? We have a shredder. So so in the same way, here all the papas get shredded. All the doubts get shredded, chidyante sarva samshayaha, and all the papas also get shredded in the wake of this knowledge. How all the karmas get shredded into small pieces of confetti which is of no use, which is completely biodegradable. So how many kinds of karmas we have? Three. Abba, after a long time this comes. 3 kinds of karmas we have. What are they? Prarabdha karma, very good. Agami karma, sanchita karma. Abba. Okay, very good. So these 3 karmas, all these 3 karmas wear out their welcome. Why? Because the karta is falsified. If the doer is falsified, what is done is also what? Falsified. So sarva papaihi pramuchyate. The same thing is being iterated here. If the person knows me as neither cause nor effect, yet sustaining cause and effect, then there is nothing more to know. Sarva papaihi pramuchyate is freed at once, simultaneously from the hold of all papas, and that is the person who is a jnani, described here as asammudha. Therefore, sammudha, whenever Bhagavan uses, that means ajnani. Mudha, deluded from muh. The root verb is muh, 4th conjugation. And then then after that what happens? The mudha is past passive participle to which the prefix some is added. When you add some, it means nicely. Deluded, some deluded means nicely, happily deluded, being happy, being deluded. Ignorant of one's own ignorance. Okay? Happy, being deluded. Sam mudha, asam mudha, the one who is not nicely deluded, means fully clear. And then Bhagavan talks about his presence, her presence in the whole universe, starting with one's own body, mind, sense complex in verses 4 and 5. We will see that tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.